because I said something that I think is original. I haven't read it anywhere. I don't know where it has appeared before. I'm sure others have thought it. But I said that Christianity needs a reformation again, and certainly Reform Judaism needs another reformation. And that is towards a militancy, because the only way Judaism and Christianity can survive the 21st century is through a militancy. Nothing else will permit it to survive. The old concept of turning the other cheek, that really helped the Christians in Egypt as their throats were cut. That really helped the Jews as they went into the concentration camps. As the early settlers in Israel learned, as they had a Bible in one hand and an Uzi in the other, the only thing that helped them survive was militancy. Well, it's time we in America recognize the same thing. We're all waiting for Richard the Lionheart to appear. Where is he? Why do we not have a king, warrior, crusader type in America? Many of you think that liberalism, as embodied by Barack Obama, the Messiah, will save America and pave the way towards world peace. Well, you're wrong. History has taught us that you're 100% wrong. We learned it through Chamberlain's belief that his deal with Hitler would work. And we're learning it again that Obama's not misguided, but it's much different than Chamberlain. Chamberlain did it out of a love for Britain and a desire to avoid war. Obama does it as a form of self-aggrandizement and to enable Iran, incidentally. It's totally different story entirely. But many of you still live in that foolishness of pacifism born in the Vietnam War, and you think that that will get you through the next decade. You are mistaken, because you see there are new players in town. New players. It's not the communists today, it's the Islamists. And while the communists were guided by their doctrines, so are the Islamists guided by their doctrines. This doctrine is total. It would have you dead, mort, gone. Christianity wiped off the planet. Jews wiped off the planet. And to see a president doing a deal with an Islamist nation is beyond me. This is not a normal, ordinary Muslim nation. This is not Jordan. He's not doing a deal with Jordan, is he? No, he's doing a deal with the most retrograde throwbacks you can imagine, and he's allowing them to gain nuclear weapons. And that's why I'll repeat and close the show, a second hour anyway, with what I began the hour with, which is only a militant Judaism and a militant Christianity can survive the 21st century.
Hey guys, I know y'all just heard that clip. I wanted to add some of my own thoughts to this. First, I'm going to read you a verse out the Bible. Then he said unto them, But now he who has a money bag, let him take it, and likewise a knapsack. And he who has no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. That's Luke 22:36. Why would Jesus tell his disciples to do that? That means that they was getting ready to go into battle, or they had to defend themselves. And he knew they was going to defend themselves. With that being said, I agree with Michael Savage on this. I don't agree with everything he says, but I agree with him on this. If us Christians do nothing and turn the other cheek, we will not survive. With all the laws being put into place, look what's going around in the world. You got ISIS going around cutting people's heads off, mainly Christians. And people that don't go along with them, they cutting their heads off too. Now I applaud a lot of the constitutionalists and everything, and they're not Christians, but hey, they're out there speaking up. I agree with them. I applaud them for that. They in the same boat. If they do nothing, they won't survive either. Let me ask you a question for all the Christians out there saying we're just supposed to leave it in God's hands and pray. Let me ask you this. What if our forefathers just sat around and prayed all the time and done nothing? You wouldn't be here. Well, you would be, but this wouldn't be America as we know it. There's going to be a point in time where you're going to have to stand up and fight and make a decision. Do you want to fight, or do you want to go along with this one world government coming aboard? I mean, the decision is out there, and the choice is yours. Will you stand, or will you cower down? Me personally, I'll die before I get to FEMA camp. I'll say that. That's something I ain't playing with either. But all this talk about, I've talked to numerous of Christians, and it just bugs me. It just mind boggling. They all say the same thing, just about 90% of them say the same thing. Well, we got to leave it in God's hands. We got to pray about it. Okay, let me ask you another question. What about David versus Goliath? If David didn't take action, there's that situation again. But what did David do? David said, "Send me." You know, there's a time you're going to have to stand. All this stuff is, look at everything that's going on in the world. Half of America, not half of America, but about 90% of America is asleep. All they want to talk about is what's the latest style, who won the football game, who won the baseball game, who won the race or the basketball game. That's all I hear. None of them, once you start talking about what's going on in the world, they quickly change the subject because they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear it. So again, I just ask you, I'm going to leave you with this one final question again. What if our forefathers, the ones who wrote the Constitution of the United States, decided to sit around and do nothing but pray and not fight? That's all I got to say about this. Y'all have a good day, and God bless.